The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Tuesday episode of Running Point on ysnlive.com. As always, brought to you. Always point the wrong way. That's how we do it. Like Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town, they go the extra mile for you, so you don't have to. We thank Greenwood Chevrolet for their constant support since day one of Running Point and everything that we do at YSN. We could not do what we do without the wonderful sponsors like Greenwood Chevrolet, the presenting sponsor of Running Point. We constantly thank them for all they do. If you are, want to sponsor or want to advertise with YSN, make sure to head over to ysnlive.com/advertise and check out all the packages we offer. Fill out that form. We'd love to get the ball rolling to work with you ahead of the fall sports season. It's been a really chaotic, weird morning for me. So I just had this feeling, this overarching feeling that today is going to be a weird day. It's going to be a weird running point. I don't know. My morning has gone really weird. Now, I shouldn't say weird. It's just like I'm kind of scatterbrained today. I don't know why. But backstory, like my mom is not in the house this week. She's watching my niece and nephew's babies that my brother is in a ministry conference in Florida, so she's over there a lot. She might stop in every now and then, but like, point is, there's a lot more responsibilities, to get stuff done in the house than there normally would be. So I'm getting stuff done this morning, right? So I'm getting stuff done, and I like to be in here to get ready for the show, like at 12:15, 12:30. Get my mind right, get in the mental headspace, know what I'm talking about, know what I'm going to do, and so that means I have to get done with what I have to get done before then. So I actually got done early today. I was like done with everything I had to get done in the morning at like, I don't know, 11:45, half an hour to spare. I'm like, well, it's not a lot of time to do anything, but I also, don't want to spend, I get paralyzed by analysis a lot. So if I spend too much time thinking about something before it goes, then it won't go the way I want it to. So I'm thinking like, okay, what can I made the really bad decision to just go on social media and scroll for a little bit. And social media has this strange ability. It's almost like black magic to make you lose all sense of time. Because I'm scrolling through funny videos and everything, and all of a sudden I look and it's like 12:30, and I'm like, oh. So that's just how my morning has gone, and that's where we're at. So we're gonna have a good episode of Running Point regardless. This is what you get when you have a show hosted by me, and I think by now you all are used to it, and obviously you all are still tuning in, so there must be something you like about it. We're gonna have a great episode today. Gonna go back into the vault with two more winter sports player profiles that we got this year. We're gonna stick with some really good, highly decorated players that we were able to cover during the basketball season. Our YSN Defensive Player of the Year, reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Cami Rome. We're going to listen to her interview and relive the player profile we got from her this year. And then one of the best guards in the YSN family that has graduated from Brookfield High School, Sophia Hook. So we're going to hear her player profile as well today. But we're also going to recap some of the stuff that happened last night. There was a lot of stuff going on. So we'll start with the softball in the 10U finally getting back in action. It's been a wild district tournament in Little League softball, and 10U was scheduled to be done, I believe, 2 weeks ago. But weather and roster obligations and roster restrict, whatever it may be, a lot of stuff has pushed it back, way back. Like it restarted last night. Reminder that I want to be right on this. The last time these two teams played, I believe, I'm looking at the schedule. I mean, I think it was a week ago because it was Saturday, Monday. Yeah, so the last time these two teams played, Austintown and Boardman, and then Austintown, Boardman, Canfield, and all the three teams that were involved yesterday. Last time these two teams played was July 5th, right? July 5th, Canfield beat Austintown 4-2. Boardman beat South Range to earn the right to play Austintown 14-2. So between July 5th and last night, 12 days of just kind of trying to hit the reset button as much as possible and get back to it. So 12 days later, we had softball at the Field of Dreams in the 10U division, and it was Boardman that just owned the day. It started with a 4-1 victory over Austintown, where Julia Putko threw a no-hitter through 6 innings. Impressive. 16 strikeouts and a no-hitter in 1 earned run for Julia Putko and Boardman as they win the first game. And that was the important one for Boardman, right? Because, you're off for 12 days. You're trying to come back. You're trying to hit the reset button. They're obviously in the losers bracket. They needed to get 2 wins last night just to stay alive. So that first game in a situation like that is really important because you have to have momentum, right? You better have a gust of momentum if you're going to win 2 games in one night against 2 really good teams that have earned their way to this spot. Remember, Austintown were undefeated until they lost to Canfield in the winners bracket final. So obviously, Austintown was a team that had a couple of wins under their belt as well. So to beat 2 really good teams in a doubleheader, pretty much, you have to get momentum early. There's no other way to do it. And throwing a no-hitter, striking out 16 Austintown hitters, that is one big way to get a lot of momentum, and they used it going forward because in game 2 against Canfield, where Boardman had to win, Canfield, if they won, they would have won the district outright and would have been done. But Boardman forces the if necessary game 12-2, the final score. They beat Canfield. And, you look at the stats. I have to pull them up real quick. But you look at this. Did I click on baseball? I think I did. Sorry. So you look at the stats from, once again, Scatterbrain today. I prefaced this at the top of the show. It's going to be a wild ride today, so buckle down, but bear with me a little bit. You look at the stats for this Canfield game. Boardman's offense went off on a very good pitcher. Clara Enfield pitched wonderfully in the last game against Austintown. Very good pitcher. But Boardman totaled 13 hits, 11 RBIs. They walked 4 times, only struck out 4 times. That has been a theme that we talked about a lot this summer, whether we're talking Class B baseball, softball, it doesn't matter. When you're facing a good team and you're able to stay away from strikeouts, more times than not, good things happen. And Boardman absolutely did that. You look at some of the big contributors. Gabrielle Price had a great day. She knocked in 2 RBI with a triple, 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored. You look at Putko, who pitched well in the first game. She hit well in the second. 1 for 1 RBI, drew 2 walks, scored 3 runs, multiple hits for Fiddler, who went 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. You had 2 RBIs near the bottom of their lineup by Savina Ceccarani, who went 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs. So a lot of big offense for Boardman, and they stormed their way to an if necessary game tonight at 6 o'clock. Winner take all. Canfield Boardman, the 12U's went to this game. Unfortunately, rain took it away. So I think the universe was saying, hey, we got to give these softball fans an if necessary game, maybe. If you believe in softball universe karma, that's maybe what did it. I think it's this Boardman played really well, 12-2. It's impressive. So 12-2, they win, and they will go on to play again tonight in the district championship. Winner take all. Canfield versus Boardman. The funny thing is, everyone wants to win a district, and it'll get you a better spot in the bracket for state. But this district, like 12U, is sending 2 teams. So both these teams should be going to state regardless. But still a lot of importance on what part of the bracket you get into and what seed you're in. And obviously, everyone wants to be the one holding that banner at the end of the summer and saying we are district champions. So even though the loser will still pack their bags and go up to Ironton, where the 12U was for state, there's still a big reason to want to win this game. Big reason to want to win this game. And I think both teams will be really motivated. Obviously, Canfield, after taking one on the chin like this, we're going to see what they're made of. Can they come back the next day and regroup and play the way they did? Remember, the first time these two teams played was a 2-0 victory for Canfield, and Enfield held the Boardman lineup to just 2 hits. So that's a drastic difference between game 1 and game 2. A lot of really good adjustments by Boardman. Credit to their coaching staff and their hitters for being able to shake off the first game that they played against Canfield and really pitch a good game. I should say, really have a good mindset. Now, Enfield pitched 3 innings, and then Canfield took her out. I'm pretty sure once they realized the game was kind of out of hand, they wanted to save innings because for a Little League softball, not the pitch count, but there is an innings limit. So they wanted to make sure that Enfield probably could come back tonight and probably pitch for Canfield again, which I would see no reason why. She's gotten them to this point. One bad night does not take away my faith in Clara Enfield. So I would expect Clara to be pitching again tonight for Canfield with only 3 innings pitched tonight. And you'll probably get Putko starting for Boardman, I would imagine. With her no-hitter, she's got the hot arm. But Audrey Huff, did not disappoint in the circle. She pitched really well against Canfield too. So Boardman's got a 1-2 punch that they can go to tonight. Both really good pitchers that can give Canfield some problems. So I'm excited to see it. DJ Oakley will be on the call at 6 o'clock at the Field of Dreams. Derpy Entertainment reminding us that we are very close to the football season. We know we are getting itchy. We're getting trigger happy. That's a bad metaphor. We're getting very excited. We're getting very excited for football season to start. It's that moment where like it's a weird mindset in the summer, because I think in the first like couple weeks where you're starting to get close to fall sports, you're almost like, oh, here we go again, because people don't understand this. Like football for us, and probably for everyone that covers football, football is like a machine. Like it's one of the ones that is the most mentally taxing, because it's just like every week and it's 10 weeks and it's a lot, and all the games are on one night. So it's a machine, and it goes on for 10 weeks of the regular season and then six more weeks for the postseason. And it's grueling. So there's probably like the 2 weeks that it's starting to get closer. You're like, oh man, okay, we're mentally gearing yourself up for it. But then when you get past that, you're just like, okay, you want it here. You want to get back to sports, because as much as we love the summer stuff that we do, we love to get back to these communities as well. We love to get back to these high school communities and cover these kids that we've been covering for so long, and to get back to calling these high school games. So we're itching for it. And volleyball is right around the corner too. So is soccer. Saw some soccer schedules drop yesterday. I can't wait to talk about that. Golf is going to start even earlier. I think some teams have preseason rounds going on just next week. So golf is going to be starting very soon as well. And then obviously we have cross country going on. We're going to try to dip our toes into every sport this year and make sure we get even better on Running Point of making sure these kids get highlighted from all the sports they play. I know Brian Tolnar will be back for golf, and we're going to try to do what we did with Gary Altizer in the winter this year, where we had every week where we had someone, whether it be a player or a coach, someone from the wrestling coverage on with Gary. We're going to try and do that with Brian Tolnar this year. See if we can get a golfer or a golf coach on every week to talk with Brian about the sport, because he's the expert, right? He'll have all the great questions. That's what made the Wrestling Wednesdays with Gary Altizer so good, obviously. Gary being here to ask the really knowledgeable wrestling questions that I really wouldn't be able to ask. So I look forward to that. I look forward to our Wednesdays with Brian Tolnar back very, very soon as golf gets closer and closer, along with all the other fall sports. We're excited. That's why we are taking the next couple of weeks, though, to reflect on the year that was and dive into the vault of player profiles that we were able to get from the 2022-2023 season. We are doing that because we are so excited for fall sports to begin, but we also want to be a little bit and acknowledge the great year that we did have and go back into the memory banks and dive into the vault. We're going to continue to do that today. We have another Salem girls basketball player profile because they had two players that ended up on our postseason awards list, and they had the offensive player of the year, who we went back and watched Abby Davidson's player profile yesterday, and now we're going to relive the player profile from Cammie Rome, SWATzilla, the 2022-2023 YSN Defensive Player of the Year, and we're going to relive her player profile now on Running Point from the vault with Cammie Rome from Salem girls basketball.
I'm so sorry.
You're good. We got you. Welcome on to the show. We're so happy to have you aboard.
Thank you. Yeah, I was in my locker room, but our Wi-Fi down there is really bad, so I just moved up to my car.
If the car works better, then we'll have
I'm
the player
so sorry.
profile in your car. It's all
Yeah.
good. Cammie, once again, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
SWATzilla is your nickname on YSN.
Yeah.
We love it. So that's the first question. Like back, it's been your nickname now for a while. When you first heard it and you first kind of realized that it was going to stick, what were some of your thoughts about being called SWATzilla?
I mean, honestly, not till my junior year, I would say. I don't think you guys started calling me that till my junior year. I loved it. I love that stuck. My mom even made shirts and everyone loves it. So yeah.
Yes, that was going to be my next question. I heard that there are t-shirts in the universe. There's SWATzilla apparel. I mean, did you ever imagine as a freshman and a sophomore that you were going to have not just like a Salem basketball shirts, but you were going to have like your own apparel, your own store?
Yeah. Yeah, all credit to you guys for making up the name. My mom just went out and made shirts, and everyone loves it now.
Hey, credit to you for blocking enough shots that we're able to get the name out there. So back into some seriousness, though. Here you come into this final year of basketball, and a lot of people kind of had their own opinions on Salem coming into this year. You guys lost a big senior class, a lot of big leaders. How much responsibility did you put on yourself this year to kind of step into that role and not let this program take a step back?
Yeah, I mean, of course, losing 5 seniors last year, we knew that our seniors this year would have to step up to major roles. And even our juniors this year really stepped up and helped our team. And I knew that coming from last year, I had to score more and be more of an offensive threat than I was last year. So that's what I've been working on the most.
Yeah, I talked with Riley last week, and one of the questions I asked her was, when those seniors left, how much of their legacy and their footprints do you feel on this team, even though they're not playing with you guys anymore?
Yeah, I mean, those seniors brought all the energy, and that's what took us so far last year. Our team was so close; we had all the chemistry, and our coach really emphasized energy last year. And coming from that last year really helped this year with carrying over all the energy and always making sure we're there to support our teammates. And that's what last year's seniors really did for us.
Okay, you said it. You had to become a more offensive threat this season, and you knew it. So what were some of the things that you worked on in the offseason and in the summer to really lock that down and get confidence on the offensive side?
Like over AAU, I tried to use my size more and shoot perimeter shots more and use my size to my advantage. And I tried to work on finishes and just anything offensively that can help my team.
Now we see a lot of young shot blockers that have that blocking mentality lose it a little bit when they get more into the offensive game. You haven't lost your shot blocking ability at all. So how have you kept the defensive mindset that you had last year, but also, like you said, balance that offensive threat that you are now?
I mean, defense to me is the most important thing on basketball court. As my dad always preached to me when I was growing up that defense wins championships, and I always take that into consideration whenever I step out on the basketball court. Offense, offensively, I've started to work more on that, but it's always just been defensive is key.
It seems like that's the mindset of this whole program. Last year, you guys set a record for defense and points average per game. This year, I was talking to Coach Hamilton, and I was telling her it doesn't feel like you're that level of defense. But she reminded me that you're playing actually statistically better defense than you were last year. Does it feel this year though like you're not like it's not as important? Not as I don't want to say important. It's not as big of a factor to the wins because last year there were a lot of games where you really, if you didn't play that good at defense, you weren't winning. But this year, you're scoring 50 a game and you're able to, make that cushion with your offense a little bit more than last year.
Yeah, this year, like with the defensive legacy that our seniors left last year, we really carried that over this year, but this year I feel like we contribute both offensively and defensively on the court.
Mhm.
So it doesn't really feel like defense is the most important thing on the court this year. So yeah, often like our offense has picked up a lot from last year, so that's what helps us the most.
Last year, you got to the regional finals. You were that one step away from state. How hungry does getting that close and not making it make this team to get back there this year?
Yeah, we were last year after losing in the regional finals, it really made us want more like it did the year before. The year before last year, we lost in the district finals, and then making it to the regional finals really is going to push us this year.
When you think about this tournament, I know you got a couple of games left before you start your tournament run, but a lot of people in the area were kind of surprised that you guys decided to go after Canfield as the 1 and the 2. Thought that you might want to get your own district, but you guys went right after Canfield. Obviously, you've played them a lot. How does that kind of get you excited knowing that you're going right after the 1 seed in the district and you're not kind of taking the quote unquote easy way into a district championship?
I'm very excited because last year a lot of people said we took the easy way out, and that's why we made it so far. But this year we're battling the number 1 seed for a district championship, and I'm excited because I grew up playing AAU with a whole bunch of their seniors on Canfield, so I'm excited to get the chance to play them one last time possibly, and I'm just excited to be able to work for another district championship.
Is that a little chip on your shoulder when you heard last year all the time people say, "Oh, you took the easy way out. That's the only reason you got." Is that one of the chips that you put on your shoulder this year?
Yeah, a lot of people were saying last year that since Marlington and West Branch saw each other in the district final, we took the easy way out, but still didn't affect us. We made it to the regional finals.
You've been dominating most of the teams that you've played this year. Um, how do you guys stay motivated in that kind of season where you don't have a lot of teams that are beating you, so you don't have a lot of that kind of motivation, and there's obviously not a lot of trash talking because a lot of teams really respect you guys. How do you guys stay motivated throughout the whole season in a season like this where there is so much success?
I mean, we know anyone can beat anybody at any time. Like, it's just whoever shows up. So our coach always preaches to us that you can always be better than how you perform that day. So
Let's talk about Coach Hamilton Phillips and what she has brought to this program. Obviously, she's been with the basketball program for a while, but now the head coach for the last couple of years. What has she brought to this program? What has she brought to you as a basketball player?
she's really changed the whole program. She's made him positively changed it in many ways. Personally, she has brought out more confidence in myself, and defensively and offensively, I've been more confident in myself to shoot the ball and score. And she also allows us to create more energy and team chemistry than what we've had before.
And you brought up AAU before. You get to play AAU for Coach Bailey, so you see him all the time.
Yeah.
Talk about him and what he brings to your game, not just at the Salem, but also in the AAU season as well.
He's the best coach because he's always in your corner. He'll always be on your side. He'll always be there to support you. He always wants what's best for you, and it's just amazing to have him in both the spring and the winter.
Are there any differences at all between him in AAU season and him in high school season?
He has more of a lead role in AAU season because he's the head coach. But off season, he always wants best for all of our girls and just make sure that we feel comfortable in whatever we're doing.
That team you guys play on is loaded with talent. You're able to play with a lot of good basketball players. You're able to play against a lot of good basketball players. How much does that help you build like the confidence that we've been talking about and help you kind of just build your game playing with such incredible talent and also playing against a lot of incredible talent as well?
Yeah, always practicing it better. It makes me better whenever I go against Abby and Riley, having two of the best guards in the area. It really makes you better as a player and as a teammate. Our team just always battles against each other, and we know at the end of the day when we step off the court, we're teammates.
How much do you keep tabs on your Laker teammates that aren't on your team?
Like do I watch?
Yeah,
Wait.
throughout the season, like do you know how all these girls are doing and keeping track of what their teams are doing? Because you have a lot of teammates that are having pretty successful seasons.
Yeah, my dad and Coach Bailey actually just went to watch my one friend from Springfield, Maddie Lesnick. Her team won their league last night, and so they went to go watch. I unfortunately couldn't go because I was not feeling the best. So
That's not good. I hope you're feeling
yeah.
better today. I'm gonna put you on the spot because I know you have a lot of good friends on that team. So who's your best friend that doesn't wear a Salem uniform?
Oh boy. From the Lakers team.
It could be from the Lakers team. It could be from it could be someone else. It could be someone else that plays basketball that doesn't wear Salem.
Oh wow. Honestly, yeah, I would probably say Maddie.
If you guys ever got the chance to play each other, Salem versus Springfield, what would there be trash talk? Would there be some nudging between the games? What would that be like?
No, I mean we wouldn't trash talk. We would just go out there and have fun with each other. We play very similarly, so.
When you think about your memories at Salem and some of the favorite memories you've been able to build, what kind of things come to mind for you?
Oh boy, all of the Sherrodsville adventures and the Christmas party activities that we had. We actually just did our senior favorite memory, and my favorite memory was on Lauren Barton. Her birthday was during Sherrodsville, so we had a mustache game where we all played in mustaches for our birthday.
All right, all 4 seasons, what's been your favorite team bonding exercise that you guys have done throughout your career?
I would probably have to say this summer we went out on my coach's lake and we did what's it called? Tubing. Yeah, we went tubing and we had we went on jet skis and everything. It was very fun.
With those kind of atmospheres, you obviously get to know your teammates a lot better and you get to know them as people, not just as players. If you had to pick one teammate that you've gotten to know the most over the stretch of your career, who do you think you've gotten to know the most from basketball?
Probably Lauren Barton, yeah. Or Riley Hutton. I've always played with the younger girls have always played on my team growing up, so I've been very close with the juniors and sophomores.
All right, so we were talking to a basketball player earlier, and it brought up a good question. I want to ask you it too, because obviously the guys get cheerleaders and the girls don't. So if you got to pick some of the guys players on the Salem boys basketball team that you think would make good cheerleaders on the girls basketball games, who are you picking to be dressing up and being a cheerleader for you guys?
Oh boy, there's this one kid. He's a freshman. He supports us. He's one of our main supporters. His name's Deontay. He plays on the freshman varsity JV team for Salem. He always shows up to our practices, and like sometimes he even does drills with us. So probably him.
You guys get such great support. Cheerleaders are not for this girls basketball team. When you're getting ready for a game and you see that crowd filling up, what does that do for this team?
I mean, it makes me feel at home whenever I go out and I see the whole crowd there to support me and my team. So the support from our community and our parents and our families just means so much to all of us.
When you're looking into the crowd before a game, is there one specific person you look for first that you want to find where they are?
Probably my mom and dad. I look for them every game. So
now, do they have the same spot or do they move around? Like, can you look at this spot and say, I know mom and dad are going to be there?
Well, for home games, my mom sits in the same spot and my dad sits a couple rows up because, he has to videotape and scream.
He's got to be separated a
little
bit. Let's talk about your dad. Obviously, he's such a vocal supporter of not just yourself, Ysn, and the whole Salem kind of team. What's that dynamic been like? He records your games. He makes your highlights. He makes sure that your name is always out there. What's it been like going through this journey with him?
I mean, he's taught me everything I know since I was first playing basketball, and he's taught half the girls that I play with nowadays. So it just means a lot for him to support me through everything that I do. And even when I come home, he's always just like, you can do this better. You did really good doing this or something. And he sends me all my videos, and he sends my friends their like videos when they do something good as well. So
correct me if I'm wrong. He's just coming off a birthday too.
Yeah, his birthday was Sunday.
1 year older for Mr. Rome.
Yeah.
We thank him for all the support of us and all the support of you. Before we let you go, I want to talk about your future and what you plan to do after high school. It's that time of year we have to start thinking about what you're going to do after high school. We don't want to see you go, but it has to happen. So what do you have in your future plans?
I'm undecided where I want to go to college yet, but I'm making that decision very soon.
Do you have a major that you want to be or a career path you want to go into?
Currently, right now, I'm thinking pre-med as my path.
Okay, so you haven't made a decision on a college yet, but give us a little bit of a taste of like, are you trying to travel? Are you trying to stay close to home? Are you trying to,
Well, honestly, I didn't want to go that far. I was thinking like a hour or 2 hours away.
All right, that narrows it down a little bit.
Yeah.
When you do decide what college you're going to go for, I hope you make it a Ysn exclusive and you come on and you tell us where you're going.
Will do. I will.
Awesome. Cammie, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to shout out your support system, all the people that are backing you and all the people that show up for you every single day.
Yeah, I just want to thank all my friends and families in the community. They're such a huge factor in our success this year. And just all of the people who watch online.
Cammie, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you finding a spot where we could do this. And I hope you have a good rest of the day, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you so much.
Cammie Rome, another dive into the vault from Salem girls basketball, and whatever it takes, right? If you find a spot that's going to be a good Wi-Fi spot, we'll take it. That's the nature of Running Point. A little bit of glitch gremlins to start that interview back when we had it. That was one of the live interviews on Running Point. And we did whatever it took to get it done, so we always do. That's what going the extra mile means. Brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet. We're going to take a quick break. You'll hear from Greenwood and our other wonderful sponsors. When we get back, we'll go back into the vault with Sophia Hook from Brookfield and hear our interview with her from this fall. So don't go anywhere on Running Point. As always, we are brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown.
Locally owned and operated, Sheely's relaxed shopping experience means browsing and lounging is always encouraged.
Find Flex Deal and more at Sheely's Furniture and Appliance, because the best things in life happen at home.
How lucky are we to have not one, but two 18-hole Donald Ross Championship golf courses right here in our backyards. Mill Creek Golf Course was selected by Golf Week as one of America's 30 best municipal courses, continuing to challenge golfers of all levels and featuring golf instruction by PGA professionals, a state-of-the-art practice range, a PGA of America recognized pro shop, kids programs, and a relaxing grill room for a memorable golf experience. For more information or to schedule a tee time, visit millcreekmetroparks.org.
Fall is in the air. The kids are back to school, crowds are cheering for the home team, and Myers Family Insurance is prepped for another crazy Medicare season. Every year there's changes, some big, some small, so it's important to have a conversation to make sure your plan is going to meet your expectations for the coming year. Give our team a call today to schedule your annual review.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance or visit us on the web. Check us out online at myersfamilyins.com.
Going from mindful to mindful sometimes requires a helping, healing hand. Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness offers a continuum of mental health and wellness care. At Insight, we're changing the way you receive counseling and wellness services with experienced licensed clinicians and expertly trained wellness staff. With 4 locations in Mahoning and Columbiana County, along with telehealth services, Insight offers clients quick access to care when they need it. Transform your mental health and wellness at Insight Clinical Counseling and Wellness.
And welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you as always by Greenwood Chevrolet. We're going to hear from them real quick with this 30-second ad about Merge from Greenwood Chevrolet.
Shopping for a vehicle online should be easy and worry-free. Introducing Merge from Greenwood Chevrolet, a completely new way to buy a car that combines the convenience of shopping online with the personal touch and expertise that Greenwood is known for. With Merge, shopping is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Choose a vehicle from our pre-owned inventory, build a deal that fits your needs, and finalize the deal with our online buying team. That's car buying in a new lane. Visit greenwoodchevrolet.com and let us go the extra mile for you.
We continue on this episode of Running Point as we continue our diving into the Vault series as we feature great player profiles that we were able to get over the last school year before we start getting into season previews of the upcoming fall sports year. We're going to continue into the Vault with Sophia Hook from Brookfield, one of the great guards, great ball handlers, great shooters that we saw in the Ysn family this basketball season. The senior from Brookfield graduated with honors and was one of the more decorated players that we had in the Ysn family. So here is an interview with Sophia Hook from Brookfield that we conducted in the fall. Another dive into the Vault here on Running Point. Anthony Harwig here with a Brookfield girls basketball player profile. I am joined by Sophia Hook. Sophia, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you have been a mainstay on this Brookfield team for quite some time, but this is your senior year. You've been asked to do a lot more as far as a leadership role this year. What do you think are some new responsibilities you've taken upon yourself this season compared to some of the other ones?
I feel like, honestly, teams have adjusted a ton since my freshman year. So I feel like now it's more of like a contributing role. I have girls on my team that can score, so whenever they get hot, I just got to get them the ball.
Like you said, by this year, if someone that's on your schedule doesn't know who you are, then they're not scouting Brookfield the way that they should. What's that like going into every game, knowing that you're circled on the other team's scouting report and knowing that you might see a different defense thrown at you every night just trying to slow you down?
I mean, it's definitely a challenge, but like I feel like that also makes the game more fun. Like I look forward to it, and I just try to do my best and see what I can do.
Has that changed your – I mean, have you had to change mentality through the years of realizing that you're on team scouting report? Was it frustrating at first to know that you're being double-teamed all the time or you're being, given the other team's best defender? Was that ever kind of frustrating to get through?
Yes. I mean, there were definitely games where I wouldn't have as many points and I'd feel like I did bad. But in the end, if we win, I'd still be happy. But I feel like my team has stepped up, especially this year. Especially the past 2 games, we've gelled together and we've gotten through it. So
I like what you said because I think a player like you could fall into that trap of being, depressed when they don't get as many points. And how have you kind of handled that? Being able to not take your points and put them as a value of how well you played.
I feel like in the end, it's not about the stats. If I feel like I've hustled enough and got even like rebounds can make a difference. Pushing it on fast break and just getting it up to usually Kaylee who runs. I feel like I could just tell whether I did good or bad based on how I'm trying, like if I'm hustling or not.
And man, do you have a solid group of teammates that help you out? I mean, what's it like looking around on the floor knowing that if teams kind of do that to you, then you have other teammates that can really hurt them?
It feels great. I feel like anybody we put on the floor is capable of scoring, so it definitely relieves some of the stress off of me in some of those tough games.
And this is a tough MVAC that you guys have to go through. Garfield, Crestview, Liberty, Newton Falls. Every night seems like a battle. What's that been like for you guys as a team, especially this season, to go through it every night and try to really prepare yourselves, not just for a possible conference championship, but also prepare yourselves for the tournament that you're going to see in February?
I feel like it's just exciting. We know each game could go either way. So we really just look forward to it and have the same mindset each game. And then in the end, this is going to help us in the playoff run too, I feel.
Do you have one team that's kind of your favorite to play that you kind of circle a couple more times on the schedule?
Liberty's always fun to play. We've gone back and forth with them. Tonight we play Garfield. One of my friends, Laura, just moved there, so that's going to be a fun game too.
It's gonna be a big one when you go into these big games. Garfield, Liberty. Last year Liberty, the conference was on the line when you went down there. What are some of the things that make you not make it bigger than it is and just go out there and play basketball?
I feel like in the end, it is just a game. Like we're playing it to have fun. So I always have to think, like, even if I'm doing bad missing shots, I'm thinking I love the game. So that's obviously why I'm playing.
And not a lot of people talk about your defense, obviously, because your stats on offense, get so much attention. How much pride do you take in the defensive side of the ball and how good of a defender you really are?
Honestly, I feel like defense is what gets me started on offense. Like I have to get in the groove defensively and like break a sweat if I'm going to make my shots.
This is going to be hard for people to understand, but you have gotten better since sophomore season. I mean, when people watched you 2 years ago, it was like, how can this kid get better? But what are some things that you think you've really developed on over the years as a varsity player?
I feel like I've developed on getting the first step and making moves. So if our play doesn't work necessarily, I'm able to take the girl one-on-one and either dish or drive and score on my own. I feel like I've worked on that a lot in the off season.
Obviously, that personal development comes from a really good coaching staff. I want you to take the time to talk about these coaches that you are under and how much they've meant to you, and not just your growth as a basketball player, but your growth as a person.
These coaches have made a huge difference. I feel like our new volunteer coach, Jordan, has definitely made a difference too.
We all see Coach Forsyth on the sidelines at all the games. Tell us something about Coach Forsyth that people don't get to see, that you think that they should know.
He's definitely made a difference. I feel like he's always very encouraging at practice, and that just pushes us to our full potential.
What's one thing that he has helped you in the most throughout your basketball career?
I feel like he's helped me whenever I was about to hit 1,000. That was probably the worst basketball I've ever played. I was in my head. You could just tell I was off at practice, but he helped me get through it and made a huge difference.
All right, so that being said, what was that moment like when you finally got that off your shoulder and you were able to hit 1,000?
It was such a relief. It honestly felt great. Those games coming up to it, it was in the back of my head when I'd shoot the ball. I just kept thinking about it. But once I got past that, I was like, thank God.
In hindsight, would you have rather not known that you were even close and just kind of gone out there not knowing, or did you
honestly,
still like
yes.
knowing?
I mean, it was nice to know, but in the end, I feel like I would have done better if I didn't know. But even in school, everybody kept bringing it up, and I couldn't stop thinking about it.
And that is because you get so much support, not just you, but your teams get so much support in the school system. What's that like, walking these halls and knowing that the student body has your back, the faculty has your back, and this whole community really comes out to support you?
It's very nice. I remember our last district game at Struthers, we had a pretty big student section, and that just is great to hear your friends all cheer you on and know that they're coming to support you.
Speaking of the last district game, it's how the last season ended. How hungry has that made you this offseason and this season to try to get back to that spot and take the next step as a team?
It's definitely pushed us. We've never won a district championship. We've made it there twice, I think. I think twice. Never been able to finish it. I mean, Liberty's a great team. We always look forward to playing them. We can't wait to play them again this year.
Who are some players of the past that helped you kind of mold yourself into the leader that we talked about earlier?
Did you say players?
Yeah, players that you've played with.
I Probably Laura. I feel like we play similar to one another. And the fact that we're friends also makes it so much more fun to play against. Like if you know the girls that you're playing against, it makes it so much more fun, I feel.
Who are some role models that you've had along your life that have also helped you become a leader?
One in particular is my dad. He's always pushed me with everything, like academics as well, and basketball. He's what got me started into playing AAU, and I feel like that's made a huge difference too.
Let's talk a little bit about those academics. What are some of your favorite subjects in school, and what kind of career paths do you see yourself in down the line?
My absolute favorite subject is math, and I think I'm going to major in accounting and minor in sports management.
All right. So, have you always had that like of math, or have you developed it?
I've always liked math. I remember in 7th grade was when our school, like, you would either get placed in the advanced or regular math, and I got placed in pre-algebra, and ever since then, I've loved math.
Now, is it because you're good at it, or because you just actually enjoy it? Because sometimes I enjoy it because I'm good at it, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's just I actually do enjoy numbers. Which one is
I
it?
do enjoy working with numbers, but I am good at it, so that helps.
What about the flip side? What subject kind of gives you the most trouble in school?
Definitely English. My mom's an English teacher, so she'll, like, help me out and read over my stuff, but I hate writing. I can't write.
That's gotta be a bonus though to have
Yeah,
a
it
mom
really
that can
helps,
help you out
yeah.
with your worst subject.
Yep.
What do you think is the hardest kind of paper you've had to write so far?
The hardest paper is probably a narrative. I feel like doing, like, research papers is easy. You could just hop online and, like, see stuff, but a narrative is truly hard for me to write.
All right, so now into the narrative of this season and how you see it ending, and what some goals that you have for this season for yourself. What were some goals that you set? What are some goals that you still have on your list?
I remember one of our team goals was making it to that district championship and winning, but I feel like another one of our goals was to have fun this year. Last year we were hard on ourselves after that loss, but so far we've been all right, and I think we've been just focusing on having fun and playing hard.
One of the big ways teams stay loose and have fun and build chemistry are those team bonding exercises they do off the floor. What are some of your favorite team bonding things that you guys do at Brookfield?
We love to go to Dunkin'. Like after practice, we've probably went after the past 3 practices to Dunkin'.
What's your go-to Dunkin' order? What are
Okay,
you getting
I
there?
don't like coffee, so I get the peach passion fruit refresher with light ice. It's the best drink I've ever had.
When you think about some of your favorite memories with this team, whether it be on the court or off the court that you've been able to accumulate so far, what are some of those favorite memories?
My favorite memory was probably when we had Anna Reichert and Audrey Reardon. Those were 2 of my closer friends from basketball. I remember beating Crestview, and it was the game before districts, and we were like the underdogs. We just loved being the underdogs and going into games, and I'll never forget when we beat Crestview that year. They had a very good team.
All right, so let's get to know you a little bit off the floor. We've talked about your dad, obviously a big role model for you. What are some other aspects of your family that you really enjoy and think that make it a unique family to others?
I feel like they're just really hard workers, and I feel like that's reflected on me. I know like going to college is going to be hard, but they're just making sure that I get a good start. So,
Is it a big family, small family? What side of the spectrum are you on?
it's small. I have a younger brother. He's 12. So we're at an age where like we don't fight anymore. So it's honestly nice. Like he's matured, so we're good now.
Does he hoop?
Yes, he does. He's in 7th
Okay.
grade. So he just started playing for the school. Yeah.
Are we gonna start to see a hook come through the ranks in the next
You
couple of
might.
years?
I think his team's undefeated right now. So they're doing pretty good.
How much stuff have you taught him?
We used to 1v1 in the driveway. It would never end well though. He always got mad. But I feel like he's gotten better. He definitely has.
That
He
might
hustles,
catch
that's
up
for
to you.
sure.
That might catch up to you when he grows
Mhm.
up a little bit.
Oh, it will. He's gonna get bigger. Yep.
What do you think when you look at his game and some of the things he's developing? Does it reflect on you, or is he a different kind of basketball player?
No, I think he plays the exact same. He's a shooter. He can shoot. He's gonna pass me up. I really think so.
That's gonna be scary for every boys team in the MVAC
Mhm.
right now because they've been watching you thinking, okay, it's a girl side, don't have to worry about it. But there's a hook coming up. So,
Yeah, he's coming.
what about your future goals? We've talked about the career, the subject, but and a career path you want to see, but what about some things you want to see yourself doing and some things you want to get out of college and some of those more specific goals that you have in the next couple of years?
In college, I'd like to play basketball. I still haven't decided where, but like after college, I just want to be able to find a good job and make a living. Like I'm going to be doing something for the rest of my life, and I just want to make sure that I pick the right thing and enjoy it.
When you're thinking about college basketball and looking for programs and trying to see where you fit, what are some things on your checklist of a program and a coach that you'd play for?
One of the most important things is definitely the coaches. I'm going to be with them for another 4 years. I want to make sure I like them and that they're going to push me to my full potential. And also the financial aid side of things. Like college is expensive, so I want to try and get as much off as I can.
All right, Sophia, before we let you go, I want to give you a chance to just shout out the rest of your support system, all the people that have been there for you throughout the years and how much they've meant to you.
Okay, so everybody in my family, all my friends, including the ones that we play, Champion. I have a bunch of Champion friends, Garfield friends. And then I want to shout out my best friend, Madeline. She's been there through all of it. She's been my friend since like 4th grade. And all of my coaches, including Jordan, for putting me through all my workouts.
All right, Sophia, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And we wish you the best of luck the rest of the year. We can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Another great trip into the vault here on Running Point as we relive some of the awesome interviews that we were able to get throughout the last school year before we prepare for the next fall season. We're going to continue our series as we go into the rest of the month of July. Before we get out of here today, I want to reestablish what we're doing on the network tonight. There are games on the network, and one of them is a big one, a championship in softball, Boardman versus Canfield, round 2. The if necessary game, winner takes all, 6 o'clock, Field of Dreams, Field S2. DJ Oakley will be on the call for that one. It's going to be exciting. Can Canfield respond from losing 12-2 to Boardman last night? They both have beaten each other now. Canfield won 2-0 earlier in bracket play, and then, of course, Boardman won last night 12-2. So something's got to give. What team's going to show up tonight? You never know. DJ Oakley will be on the call there. We have Palomino baseball at Bob Scene Park, and Matt Marr and Jordan Barber are going to be there. 1 o'clock. Scene 1, 6 o'clock. I told you, it's one of those days. My brain is blended. 6 o'clock on Scene 1, and then 8:15 as well. Both those games will be on the network with Matt Marr on the call, and we could have an if necessary game tomorrow in Palomino. So keep an eye on the Palomino baseball tonight. 3 games on the network tonight. 1 game was on the network this morning. So we have 4 total baseball and softball games on the network today. We are still going strong, and that's why we're beating everybody else. There's no better place to be than YSN. We thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Running Point today. And we'll be back tomorrow. No Scotty. He will not be here tomorrow. I believe he's going to the Guardians game, if I'm not mistaken. That is one thing that I will gladly say. Okay, you can miss out on Running Point for that. That's a cool place to be. But I did tell him. No, actually, it's in PNC Park, right? So, right, Guardians are playing Pittsburgh tomorrow. I don't know. I think so. I think he said he's going to PNC Park for Guardians Pirates. But anyway, I told him it would be really cool to pop in live from PNC. I don't know if that'll happen, but he's going to have a fun time. He'll be back next week on Wednesday, but tomorrow we're still going to have some fun, and we'll still be here on Running Point from 1 to 2. Don't miss out on it. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We appreciate it like we always do. Thank you so much. We are out of here on Running Point, brought to you as always by Greenwood Chevrolet.